Good morning, Your Highness, Your Excellencies, and distinguished guests. I'm glad to be back in Abu Dhabi at the Global Aerospace Summit. I always enjoy seeing many friends from around the world. And I'm happy that the theme is innovation. That's my middle name. I'm the luckiest guy in the world. When Neil Armstrong and I became the first humans to walk on the moon on July 20th, 1969, that milestone progress was a transformative moment for all of humanity. People often ask, just how lonely was it to be so far from Earth? Taking in stride the eerie surroundings of what I called magnificent desolation. I said those words on the moon because it was a magnificent accomplishment for man to set foot on another world for the first time. Yet there was the desolation of the lunar landscape. No sign of life, no atmosphere, blackness beyond the sunlit terrain. However, along with our Apollo 11 colleague Mike Collins, who remained in orbit, we always felt connected to home. We made that journey thanks to the tireless effort of some 400,000 people. We were in the hearts and minds of almost 1 billion people back here on Earth. Everyone felt like they had come with us on this incredible journey. The world welcomed us back as heroes from the moon. However, we understood that people were not cheering for 3 guys, but for what we represented, it by a nation coming together. We had accomplished the impossible. The true value of Apollo is the amazing story of innovation and teamwork that overcame many obstacles to reach the moon. I feel so very privileged to have played a part in this historical event. I consider myself a global statesman of space, so it is fitting that I stand here again at the Global Aerospace Summit. In my travels throughout the world, it's clear that there's a need to remind people of what having a strong, vibrant, and cutting-edge space agenda means for this 21st century. And I've been impressed with the progress of your space program, your measured approach of developing your own capabilities to design, build, and operate complex spacecraft will be a model for other nations. I congratulate you on your success with Dubai Sats 1 and 2, and I look forward to the successful launch of Khalifa Sat in 2017. But more than anything, I'd like to welcome you to Mars. Your next program and the first program for the space agency of UAE will bring the Emirates into a small community of nations exploring, and I believe ultimately living on the only other habitable planet in our solar system. The scientific observations of the Hope spacecraft will be an important contribution to that goal. I've dedicated the last 30 years of my life to the study of Mars and the technical systems needed to establish and maintain permanent human presence on the surface. But I've come to realize that it is not so much rocket fuel that will get us there. Rather, it's the human spirit which will propel us to Mars. It's the human mind which will solve the engineering challenges we must resolve to get there. Last August, I was very pleased to formalize and establish the Buzz Aldrin Space Institute at the Florida Institute of Technology. This institute is the only academic organization that I know of that is dedicated to the proposition of establishing and maintaining a permanent human settlement on Mars. There is no greater endeavor that humanity will undertake for generations to come than to create a permanent presence on another planet, to occupy Mars. No other task can unite the great nations of the world together in purely peaceful way. So today I want to invite all of the nations representing here to join me. It will truly be a global venture. I believe that all spacefaring nations of today and tomorrow can contribute meaningfully to this venture. I am excited by the steps the UAE is already taking toward Mars. I believe that the HOPE mission will contribute to our understanding of the Martian atmosphere. That will be critical to understanding Mars entry, descent, and landing. My plan proposes that by 2040, we will have the first people living on Mars, and from that point forward, we'll have people living there always. And by 2050, we'll have 50 people living, working, and studying Mars. And then there will be people from as many as 8 countries present at Mars, maybe even people from the UAE. This is what we are focusing on at the Buzz Aldrin Space Institute. Our task is to promote the settlement of Mars through research. Such a plan makes use of my concept of cycling pathways to occupy Mars. CBOM, cycling pathways. CPOM, the proposed architecture establishes pathways of progressive missions to low Earth orbit, cislunar space, asteroids, to Phobos, a moon of Mars, and eventually to the initial landing and eventual permanence of humans on the surface of the red planet. Not me. Cycling pathways is an approach, technically sound and ready to be put into practice. It's not a destination. The physics is all there. Moreover, continuing refinements at Purdue University, MIT, and Florida Tech confirm that if we start now, successful human landings for continuous occupancy can reach Mars by 2040. My cycler architecture emphasizes reusability with resupply for low-cost transfers of crews. The earthbound equivalent would be like ferry boats ferrying people back and forth across rivers, cycling spacecraft, and 2 or more Mars landers with redundant propulsion will intercept the cycler swinging by the Earth for a 6-month transfer to Mars or its moon Phobos. The Mars base will incorporate improved technologies to be developed at the similarly designed lunar base. Right now, students at Purdue University are conducting a follow-on study, and they will present their findings on April 21st. I'll be in Colorado Springs before that. We will put those details on our website at buzzaldrin.com. We want to work with international partners, so please see my son somewhere out there, Andy Aldrin, who's the director of the Institute. If you would like to learn more, he will be speaking later this afternoon. I'm also passionate about inspiring the next generation, Generation Mars, as I like to call them, with my new kids book, Welcome to Mars, published by Nat Geo Kids in September of 2015. I'm very proud of this book and hope it will ignite enthusiasm for space for all kids today. This is important because they will be the ones carrying out crewed missions to Mars in the future. My Share Space Foundation is also promoting my vision using STEAM, S-T-E-A-M, science, technology, engineering, arts, and math, by doing hands-on activities on our giant Destination Mars map on display here at the summit. Go check it out when you're on the trade floor. The challenge of Mars is not only monumental, but historic. I invite you all today to join me in making history. With Apollo, we did the impossible, and I believe we can do the impossible again, because I'm living proof that it can be done. So let's go for it. And now I'd like to take time to introduce you to a man who is also no stranger to making history. His Highness, Prince Sultan bin Salman, was the first man from an Arab country to travel into space. On the Space Shuttle mission, STS-51. He was also the youngest man to fly in space. He's remained active as one of the founders of the Association of Space Explorers, which brings together world astronauts, cosmonauts, tachinauts, and perhaps one day, future explorers may even come some way from the UAE, who will call Mars their home. Most of all, I just want to welcome you all to a dear friend of mine. His Highness, Prince Sultan bin Salman.